Considering the pace, of course, at which the president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, passes bills into law, leaves one with no option but to begin to worry and ponder if there are other, of course, connotations or to this particular move uh, in the recent days after his swearing in. He has been able to pass more substantial laws, at least four pronounced ones. The first one borders on the judicial reforms, which he claimed to be the Judicial Officers Law. And this law, according to the bill titled the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, of course, the number 37 of 2023 was the first to be signed into law by the president on June 8th. This is wonderful. What does the law, of course, wants to address? The law harmonizes the retirement age for the judges and pegs it at 70 years. Is it a blessing in disguise, or is it something that should be commended? This is an issue of concern, of course. Why should there be a review of the retiring age of judges at this particular time, especially when his legitimacy or validity of his office is being challenged at the tribunal? This is very important, of course, subject of discourse. These legislations also ensure uniformity in the pensions rights of judicial officers of superior courts of records, specified in Section 6, of course, subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The court listed in Section 6, subsection 5 are the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, Federal High Court, High Court of Abuja, High Courts of State, Sharia High Court, you can imagine, National Industrial Court, and Customary Court of Appeal, among others. Wow, this is very interesting. What is happening? And it appears that no one is asking questions. Well, for the judiciary, of course, it is a new dawn for them. But could there be anything different than to what we are seeing? The next bill passed by Ahmed Bola Tinubu is the Electricity Act, which was passed on the 9th of June. Tinubu signed a bill which empowers states, companies, and individuals to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity. This is a laudable one, if I may say, because it has been the cog in the wheel of Nigerians' progress, especially industrial revolution. And I hope that this will be maximized and properly harnessed in order to, of course, ensure that economic revamp and most the power, of course, demands of the Nigerian industries will be met at this time. It is no longer under the exclusive list of the federal government. It is now, of course, decentralized that every state could generate, distribute, and transmit their own electricity. This is a laudable one, and every one have to commend this. But the political way to implement it become another subject of concern. The new electricity bill appeals or repeals the Electricity and Power Section Reform Act of 2005 and consolidates the laws relating to the Nigerian electricity supply industry. Speaking on the new law, Tinubu said it would bring about development geared towards constant power supply. We hope so, that this should not end up as the Nigerian story. Of course, we hope that this law will enhance, of course, the productivity and development of the Nigerian state. Well, the third law that was signed into law is the Student Loan Act. This Student Loan Act, what does it entail? This was signed into law on the 12th of June, the Democracy Day. The Nation Democratic Day, okay, TINUBU gave assent to a law that will facilitate the provision of financial assistance to Nigerian students in tertiary institutions. What of those who intend, of course, to be enrolled or perhaps travel abroad for their masters? Will they be captured in this provision of the law, or is it only meant for those who are in tertiary institution already? What about those who are aspiring or will want to further their educations due to financial constraints have not been able to as such? Could it be fair, or is it being targeted to indigent as been described, indigent students? That wouldn't be fair if that is the target. Everybody is vulnerable within the Nigerian state, a state where you have more than 90% of her population is multidimensionally poor, needs, of course, a state of emergency to be declared in the education sector to get the population of the Nigerian masses educated and prepared for the future and challenge of nationhood ahead. Well, we will also, of course, explore further findings regarding this students' loan act, if that will, of course, not propel or compel the academic authorities to hike the tuition fee is another, of course, challenge. Will there be any regulatory body that will ensure that the incessant hike on the tuition fee will be regulated? Is very important. Otherwise, uh, it will be exploited by those of course, people who are greedy and will want to take advantage of every opportunity, especially now that the fuel subsidy has been removed. The overbearing costs will also be on the children, perhaps the students who might want to take this loan, and the readiness of those uh, banks, of course, that may want to disburse those money, and the sincerity on the part of the principals in charge of saddled with such responsibility is another issue of concern. I hope it will not end up as the traders' money. Well, the next one and most important among, of course, in the line of these bills that have been assented to, of course, is the data protection law. Tinubu signed the data protection bill into law on the 14th of June. The Act of Parliament allows for the establishment of the Nigerian Data Protection Commission. Wow, the legislation empowers Nigerians to seek redress in the event of a data breach. Really? Hmm. Who is this targeted to? What does this serve to address? What purpose? Could it be saying that this is self-serving? Well, I don't know, but let's know what is your comment. Of course, opinion via the comment section as you express yourself to the fullest. The law stipulates that citizens' personal data should be processed in a fair, lawful, and accountable manner. Hmm. Is it being targeted at the media? Well, time will tell, of course, the content and the motive behind the endorsement of this or signing of these bills into law. Well, I leave you with, of course, your own opinion, which can be expressed via the comment section. Meanwhile, don't forget to hit the subscription button if you have not done so. Give us a thumbs up. as we continue to serve humanity in this capacity, bringing your way, of course, unbiased reportage of events. Let's continue this discussion on the comment section and know if this is meant to serve personal interest or was, of course, for the overall interest of all as sundry.